So I did a little bit more research, and we do know that Spinoza was 23 years old when he was exiled from his home community, the Sephardic community in Amsterdam. I had said I thought he was in his teens. I still think there's something to that argument because from the scholarly work on Spinoza I've been reading, there are some arguments, such as by Shirley, who did the translation I'm reading, that we don't know exactly what led up to the exile, but it seems like there was some conflict going on for quite a while. I probably assumed that he was in his early teens because I was 12 when I was shunned from my community for reading from the Torah and for taking a historical perspective on the scriptures, and that's how I ended up on a secular path. And my background is still really important to me, and I also understand what a long and complicated process all of this can be, so I'm sure that before the big proclamation of his exile, there were a lot of smaller conflicts that built up to that. And that's something that I experienced in my life. But I will add that I read one article that I'll post a citation of up on my Substack when I get more of this up. But it's from a rabbi talking about how it was written in this year in 2025, and it was talking about how one of the lessons for us as a community when we learn about Spinoza is to maybe question this practice of shunning and exiling people in order to maintain a cultural standard. Who decides that, and what do we lose as a community? These are questions that were being asked in this article that was published this year by a rabbi, and these are questions that I'm asking as well, and I think they're very relevant to his work. So to clarify, he was exiled at 23, but much of what happened probably started when he was in his teens, or at least a few years before he was exiled. And when this happens in my community, it often does happen around 12 or 13 for some very specific reasons that we don't need to get into.